Thank you. Senator Markey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For decades, NOAA has collected and made public information on how many extreme weather-related disasters caused by more than $1 billion worth of damage. In the 1980s, the U.S. experienced a weather or climate disaster that caused more than $1 billion in damage every 4 months, on average. Now, in our climate change era, our communities are hit by a disaster of that magnitude on average by every 3 weeks. So, Dr. Jacobs, I appreciated our conversation on this yesterday. Do you stand by your statement that you made to me yesterday that NOAA's data on billion-dollar disasters should be made available to the public?
So the data that NOAA collects to produce that, yes, I think that's a really important thing.
No, thank you. And that's great to hear. Back in May, the Trump administration announced that it was going to start burying that information and stop informing the public about the cost of weather disasters. And I appreciate your commitment. The administration is fighting disasters the only way they know how, by denying they even exist. And the only problem solved by burying weather data is the Trump administration's PR problem. But that's all that's buried. The actual information should be out there so the public can see how much worse these storms are as each decade is unfolding. So, Dr. Jacobs, do you think that climate-focused research, data, and grant programs are relevant to NOAA's mission to understand the health of coastal and marine resources and predict our marine environments?
Well, weather, water, and climate is essential to NOAA's mission. It's a fundamental part of it. And so data along the coastline obviously is critical to that.
So I'm glad that we agree on that. So do you support the efforts to collect and understand regional climate data, which is so important for developing the forecast that our farmers and other small business owners use to make decisions every single day?
Well, essentially all data is regional at some level.
Right, I know that. But do you agree that there should be a continuation of the collection of the data?
Collecting of data, observations is a core essential to NOAA's mission.
Yeah, so, and that's absolutely critical as well, because it's too bad that President Trump's budget uses the exact language on climate research as a justification to kill that exact program at NOAA. And frankly, I'm shocked that an agenda that that would, cause such problems could even be talked about in the era that we're in right now. Dr. Jacobs, the Trump administration wants to cut NOAA's budget by 27%. No climate, weather, Sea Grant, Ocean Labs, many other programs exempted. Dr. Jacobs, yes or no, do you support these cuts?
Yes, I support the president's budget.
Dr. Jacobs, do these cuts improve the weather readiness of our country?
The cuts I believe you're referring to, a lot of that work is being transitioned in from the research side to the operations side. So the National Weather Service, the National Ocean Service, their mission essential functions will continue.
I have a disagreement with you. A 27% cut is going to have an impact because there's a definite ripple effect that occurs when that kind of funding is slashed, because of weather readiness without funding is an hallucination. You can't cut something by 27% even as the storms are enhanced as each year goes by without having that additional capacity. So I do not agree with you on that issue. And finally, Mr. Jordan, in 2012, Senator Inhofe wrote a book called The Greatest Hoax: How the Global Warming Conspiracy Threatens Your Future. The next year, you adopted the social media handle at The Greatest Hoax as a reference to that book. Is that correct?
So thank you for the question, Senator. That particular name came about while I was earning my master's degree.
I appreciate that. Can you explain why you chose and kept the greatest hoax as your online identity based upon Senator Imhoff's book? What was the joke in that?
So there is no joke. It was a young man's attempt at wit, and there's really no deeper meaning. They came about contemporaneously, and that's about it.
Right. No, I appreciate that. But if you want to be a comedian, you should maybe go to open mic night at the local club, because this is serious business. And the greatest hoax is not in any way a joke. It's an attempt to undermine legitimate climate science, undermine those who lead on weather, those who lead on protecting our oceans. So it just says to me that all the rest of us have to get more serious if the greatest hoax is your handle, because that is not where our country should be. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Baldwin.